Good morning. My name is Patel Dhrubisha, and today I'm going to talk about cultural values and expect. So here is my friend Preksha, and I'm going to interview her regarding her culture. So let's begin. So, hi Preksha.
Hi,
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all good. So do you like this weather and everything?
Yes, spring is finally coming around.
Today is a hot day, right?
Yep.
All right then. So let me get started. So can I know about your culture? And are you okay with this interview?
Yes, I'm good.
So where are you from?
I am from Darjeeling. It is a small city in the northeastern region of India.
Okay, and where you were born there?
Yes, I was born in my hometown.
Okay, so when did you came in Canada?
I came to Canada last year. In
All right,
2021.
So, any reason to come here?
Yes, I'm an international student. I'm
Mhm.
currently pursuing my master's in civil engineering at the University of Windsor.
Okay, so do any of your family members live here with you?
I do have far relatives who live in Toronto, but not my immediate family.
All right. So if I'm gonna come here, so Preksha, what differences you find in here, like living up there into your hometown, Darjeeling, and living in Windsor, Canada?
Obviously, like there are a lot of the differences. Weather-wise, I think it's quite similar because Darjeeling is like a hill station, so we do have like the more chillier weather in the winter. So weather-wise, I didn't have a lot of problem adapting to it. People in Darjeeling, they are a lot more westernized than we think. So even that transition for me was very easy. I do find a lot of differences given the crowd mixture. Like we do have a lot of people of different ethnicities here, which we may not find like back home. But apart from that, I had a very easy time blending into Canada.
That's nice then. You have a lot of similarities, I see.
Yes. Yeah.
And can I know your native language?
My mother tongue is Nepali, and
Alright, so are you multilingual? I guess you are. Like, what other languages do you know?
I speak English,
Mhm.
obviously. I speak Hindi because I'm from India, of course,
Right.
and I speak Bengali too.
So, do you find it hard to live in this culture rather than your native culture?
Not quite. I think it's. I don't see a lot of differences personally because most of like back home I went to a convent. I studied in a convent that was run by Irish nuns. So obviously there was a lot more Western influence in my education too. I was brought up in an English medium school. I think I sang more Catholic hymns and said more Christian prayers than my own religion. I think so. Yeah, there was not a lot of difference there too.
Okay, so I'll come to my favorite part. Like, I like to know about food and all stuff.
Okay.
Like, for every culture. So what kind of food you eat in your culture?
As you know, it's common for more Himalayan regions. They look at rice as a more staple diet. So yes, our food does has rice as a staple and wheat flour to make chapatis, etc. We have protein sources as pulses for vegetarians, and meat is a very staple in our diet, in the dietary of my culture. And fermented vegetables, sometimes radish and other vegetables, they are served as savory just to stimulate.
Like, is there any famous dish?
Not particularly, but we do have vegetable dumplings, popularly known as momos in India.
Oh.
So yeah.
Nice. Alright. So next I want to know about your dressing senses, like how you dress in your culture.
So my culture, so if you look at the traditional dresses, they have, so the women, they dress with a red colored blouse and sari, which is similar to the ones in India, but not quite. The men, they wear a hat, which is shaped like a mountain, sort of. Yeah. And they have the traditional wear consists of like a two-piece set.
Oh, alright. So now coming up to next thing, I'm like very fond about infrastructures. So buildings in your culture?
Yes, so we do not have any particular infrastructure design that we follow for, you know, our household buildings, but we do. So the more traditional monuments back home, they have like a more, they are influenced by more designs, like the building designs from Tibet, Bhutan, and Nepal, since it's the border region over there.
Yes.
Since Darjeeling was also the summer capital of British India, we do have a lot of more those medieval buildings, you know, that that shows the British influence, and you know, so historical influence. We have monuments of historical influence.
All right. Is there any specific religion you follow?
So I was born into a Hindu family. My dad follows Hinduism, but my mom has you know, Buddhist ancestry, so I have a mixed over there.
Okay, and talking about one more favorite topic of mine, festivals.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, we follow the traditional Hindu festivals, Dashera being the more major one, the biggest festival that we celebrate. Diwali a close second. So those two, and you know, we have the smaller festivals like, you know, Rakhi and Holi,
any specific, like rather than the Indian festivals? Any specific?
No, not quite. We do have like a small, sort of like a ritual or spiritual family gathering where some important days where we remember our ancestors. Because in Darjeeling, particularly in our culture, we follow the traditional Hindu gods and goddesses, we worship them, but at the same time, we do give a lot of importance to our ancestors. Each household has our own small prayer room, where we only like worship our ancestors, like, you know, the people who were there before us from our family. Only the male members of the family are allowed into that particular room to, you know, pray, because patriarchy. But yeah, that's like a very unique tradition. I think that my culture, like in my, we follow.
All right, all right, all right. So, moving on further, I would like to know that many of the cultures have their own medicine and illness things. So, do you have any things like that?
I think that comes from being like a more Asian root. I feel like we, so that to every drug there is for a particular disease. We do have traditional herbs that you know, that our parents, you know, they give to us sometimes. But yeah, we do have like a special herbal tea every now and then, but not particularly.
Okay, okay. So, is there any specific god or goddess you worship?
Not quite. We follow the traditional Hinduism. So we follow the Hindu gods and goddesses. For my mom's side, obviously she's a Buddhist, so
Yeah.
we do, you know, go to the monastery every now and then, Lord Buddha and Guru Rinpoche.
Alright. So, um, as you have said that you follow the Hindu culture and Buddhist culture too. So, do you see any similarities or dissimilarities?
Since Buddhism, I think, was born out of Hinduism, I do see there are a lot of more similarities over there. I feel like Hinduism a more strict version of Buddhism. Like, you know, there are a lot of but since I don't follow Buddhism wholly, like, you know, I'm a more traditional Hindu over there. Yeah, I do see a lot of similarities, but I think like my generation, as compared to my parents' generation, we are not very religiously grounded. At least for me, I'm not very religiously grounded. Like, I respect all religions and do follow practices from all religions every now and then. I was brought up in a convent, so obviously I had the Roman Catholic influence growing up too. And then my dad is a Hindu, my mom is a Buddhist, so I have like a whole lot of mixture going on over there. I do respect all religions. I do not follow any religion personally, strictly, but I respect all religions, and every now and then, I practice.
Alright, alright. So, do you guys have any restriction on eating any food or anything like that?
Yes, I think being a traditional Hindu, we don't eat beef.
Yeah, we don't.
We don't. So naturally, I'm a vegetarian, but my family does not eat beef. And my immediate family, like my mom, dad, and my younger brother, they do not eat pork either. It's like we don't.
Yes.
My immediate family, we don't eat pork for religious reasons. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, like everyone has their different way of greeting other people
Mhm.
when they meet. So, do you have any different greeting style?
Yes, I think that's unique to my culture. So whenever we meet somebody elder than us, we bow down our heads until it's
Yes.
just a way of to get their blessings. So that's traditional to my culture. Every time we meet somebody who's older than us, we do bow down our heads
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and wait for them to bless us.
So, I might ask you some personal questions. So, Preksha, what your family do for a living?
My dad is a businessman, though he had a lot of professions over the years.
Mhm.
He used to work as he used to work in the tourism industry for some time. In the late 80s, he was also a Nepali teacher for the American Peace Corps.
Mhm.
My mom, she works for the United Nations Children's Fund, or the UNICEF.
All right, all right. So, do you guys have any cultural practice to keep yourself fit and physically active?
Not quite, not really.
Nothing?
Nothing comes to my mind. Maybe I missed it. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm. All right, no problem. So, one more thing that how normally, do you guys get any specific holidays or anything like that?
We follow the traditional Hindu holidays.
All right, all right. And are there any tradition, rituals during your cultural wedding?
I think the fundamentals of the traditional Nepali or Indian Nepali wedding, Indian Gorkha wedding is as same as the Hindu weddings, but I do see that there's just minute differences that I think has to do with the more the Nepal like influence over those regions. So yeah, there are a lot of a few fundamental differences, but
Uh, so, as I can see that you are a mixture of a lot of culture, like
Mhm.
Catholic, Indian, Buddhism.
yeah.
Just know about your hobbies. What are your hobbies?
So yeah, I am like a mountain girl.
Mhm.
I was born near the mountains, so I do a lot of trekking. I love going and exploring new places, especially trekking into the woods or hills regions. I do that a lot. I do read a lot of books. I used to have a blog with a couple of other writers, so I do some freelance writing as well. Yeah, I've put a stop to that for now because I'm focusing more on my career as a civil engineer. I particularly am more inclined to writing and reading more fiction, so I enjoy reading and writing more fiction stories.
Okay, so talking about book, do you read your cultural books?
Not quite. No. Maybe English edition of because I'm more fluent in English
Yes,
than my
yes,
traditional. Like my language, my mother tongue. Yeah. So if there is like an English translation of course.
All right, no worries. So it was great talking with you, Preksha, and
Thank you so
I
much.
came to
Thank you
know,
for having me.
like, I do came to know about Nepali and Indian culture of
Mm.
yours. So thank you very much.
No.
So, like one of my friends, she gave me amazing answers and let me know about her culture a lot. And to this interview, I came to know that while I'm serving any patient of different culture, I might get connected with him or her by asking some normal questions like what are your hobbies, from which culture you are, and I might get comfortable with him or her because he or she might be more comfortable talking with me and they will consider me like a trustable, responsible person, and that way I can help them to heal better and can help them in anything they want, and that's how I can be a good social worker. So thank you, and I hope you like it.